Spoilers and Fandom is like a book club for geeky stuff. Join us as we delve into the depth of our backlogs and sift through the games, comics, shows, movies, and books that we haven't checked out yet. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Today we're talking about the Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Yeah, on
PC?
We're playing it on PC.
We're playing it on PC. I think it's there on
PS4,
on PlayStation as well. Right.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's published by Capcom, and the developer behind this particular collection is called Digital Eclipse. And this is different from stuff that's emulated because they sort of, Digital Eclipse kind of made the engine. And so I don't understand how emulation works, but it's sort of like able to repack and unpack and do stuff with NES data that exists. So that's how they came about actually doing this. And so the Mega Man Legacy Collection covers the first 6 games.
Yeah, that's Mega Man, literally 1 through 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your history with Mega Man?
Okay, to be very honest, I wasn't that big of a fan of Mega Man.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand the controls.
Yeah.
Like, he slid way too much. Like, Mario was, to me, the more crisp platformer. Like, if you needed to play, like, a fast-paced platformer and whatnot, I tended to be the guys playing Mario. But I was exposed to Mega Man, but I guess it never really grew on me. Yeah. But when the Legacy Collection came out, I was interested. I was like, maybe it will trigger some nostalgia. We go back and play something to remind you of the way back when we grew up playing games.
Yeah. So for me, I've played Mega Man 2 on, don't quote me on 2. Mm-hmm. It was on Game Boy. Mm-hmm. So one of the Mega Mans on Game Boy. I think it was either 2, 3, I don't remember what. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it. It was my friend's game. Yeah. So back in those days, I used to exchange games quite often. So that was one of the ones I exchanged, and I do remember finishing it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, as a kid, it's like you had the entirety of Saturday mornings to play video games.
You had way more time, and your reflexes were a lot better.
Yeah, but also I think on the Game Boy it wasn't as tough as the NES.
Yeah, the NES version was.
Yeah.
Tricky.
So I played that, and then my exposure to Mega Man as a character was like in the cartoons. Yeah. I remember there was a Super Mario cartoon. He made a few cameo appearances in that show, and it was really weird. And then there was like an actual legit standalone cartoon that was on KBC or KTV or both. And then on PlayStation I played one of the Mega Man X games where you could play as Zero, who I knew from the show was Mega Man's brother or whatever. But in the PlayStation game he used a sword. It was really cool, actually. It was really cool. And yeah, so that was my Mega Man exposure before covering this Legacy Collection. And what I always do remember about Mega Man was like the way you would describe the platforming as it being like he slides too much.
Yeah.
He does slide a lot. Yeah. I just realized that, like when you get hit, you get knocked back quite a bit.
Yeah, even his jump animation is some weird...
It's like interrupted as well.
Yeah.
What I liked about Mega Man though was like when he jumps, it's like there's like gravity pulling him down really fast all the time. So it felt like the character was really heavy, which I kind of liked because he's like a robot.
Yeah, you can kind of feel there's a momentum to him.
Yeah.
And if you watch even the speedruns, the way guys play like walkthroughs or specifically speedruns, there's a certain momentum that guys keep when they're running through a stage. Yeah. So if you're not very good at like platformers, that can really throw you off. Yeah. Because you don't expect the character to be able to move that gracefully. Yeah. And then when you go back and try it and it doesn't work for you necessarily as well,
Yeah.
that can be a slight frustration.
So
but it's part of the learning curve.
Yeah, the jumping is tight in this game. Like, it is not floaty.
Yeah, it's not like Mario at all.
Yeah.
Okay, which other? Okay, let's try and compare. Like, which other two platformers would we put in like the same?
In the same category as Mega Man.
Yeah. I don't want to say Metroid.
Metroid is quite floaty as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Metroid.
Even the combat in Metroid is just way better. My league's better than this.
There are like Castlevania is somewhere in the middle, I think.
Actually, yeah.
Between being floaty and being like Mega Man-y.
You know what came to mind anyway. Actually, this for me is the reason why I got the Mega Man collection.
Yeah.
You remember the game that I was playing like about this time last year called Wonder Boy?
Yeah.
And the Dragon's Trap.
Yeah.
This and that feel exactly the same to me.
Really?
Yeah. When it comes to even just the movement, the enemies and the fighting, how you use your weapon. Because like now you see in Mega Man, the way he uses like his arm blaster.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of how like one character uses it in Wonder Boy.
Okay.
Yeah. And even the jumping, the fact that the jumping is also as heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
okay.
tight heavy jumps. Tight heavy character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not a game that many people have played. So, okay, let's just, comparing to Mario is way floatier than this. He's way more agile than Mega Man.
Yeah. Yeah, Mega Man. Well, see, that's really debatable, because, like, I wouldn't say agile. Because, like, when you're fighting these bosses, like, literally the second you hit the ground, you press jump, he responds so quick. And you need to do that when you're playing Mega Man. Like, jumping really fast is key, and jumping at certain heights is key, because it's quite responsive for such an old game. He is definitely not floaty at all.
For me, okay.
And Mario is definitely a lot more forgiving.
Yes, it is. Definitely way more.
Like, because he has more impressive toe strength.
He's faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His toe strength. Yeah. In Mario, you could hold B and sprint. Mega Man. So in Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, he has a jump and he has a shooting thing. Yeah. In the Legacy Collection, you have a rapid fire button as well. Yeah. In Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, they introduced... Well, in 4, I think you have the charge shot, which is then a staple that stays throughout Mega Man through the years. Yeah. And then I think in 5, they introduced the slide. Yeah. You'll see it... I might be wrong about this, but you'll see it in the footage that I've captured. I've captured basically from Mega Man 1 to 5. Because that was like an hour-long bit of footage. I didn't want to go over an hour. But yeah. As soon as the slide is available, you'll see me slide as soon as the level starts. Yeah. Because I am checking as well to see where the slide actually does begin. And so he does get a little more mobility later on, but his movement is
pretty much the same.
That doesn't really change. And that charge shot, when it's first introduced, is powerful. It is so powerful.
Those enemies, the turtle, and like hold up a shield or defend themselves. Yeah. When you figure out that you can actually clear them off with the charge shot at the right time.
And it does piercing.
Yeah.
It hits, it goes through enemies. Yeah. So if there are if two enemies are like coming at you, it will basically take them both out. Yeah. Whereas in later on they nerfed it.
Yeah, in 6 they nerfed it.
Yeah, in 6 it's not as strong because you'd rather do the rapid fire. Is what I found.
But then also the fact that in 6 it's when it's blocked, like when an enemy is defending. Yeah. If it's blocked, it's blocked. When in 5 it would like almost hit through. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, I guess mechanically that's a difference, right? between.
Yeah.
And also, with the way it controls, there's. So I didn't like the way one. One was a bit weird, and I guess it's the first game. It's really old tech, so I guess it's forgiven for being weird. Two for me controls perfectly.
Yeah.
I really like 2, and 2 is the one I actually finished.
Yeah.
And also 6, but 3, something is wrong with 3, where. Do you remember in old PC games when you used to press like 2 buttons at the same time, one wouldn't register?
Yeah, there's no rollover.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of that with 3. Okay, it's either 3 or 4.
On the gamepad?
Yeah. But it's just with that one. The other ones, that issue wasn't there for me.
Okay.
Specifically like with jump shots, yeah.
That's actually funny that you say, because 3 was the first one that had like controller tricks.
Controller tricks?
Yeah. They were like, like dev tools, like developers when they were making the game, they left in tricks. So if you used like a certain combination of buttons on player 2 and player 1, you could exploit the game. It's kind of like a hack that will save you from death.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's the pause glitch also.
The pause glitch I know is there in 1.
Yeah. So when you pause, it clears the projectiles on the screen and all that kind of stuff. So
is that what it does?
It doesn't really clear them. It gives you time to reuse. It resets like your cooldown timer for like bombs and stuff.
So what I read was when you're about to get hit, if you press pause, it's like the hit won't register, and the bullet will kind of pass through you, but it'll like be like you took no damage.
Yeah, but there's also a hack. I don't want to call it a hack.
It's a glitch, yeah.
But there's a glitch where you can use a certain attack almost instantly if you pause after the first one. So it's like it negates your cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. It like clears the projectiles on the screen, or at least it clears animations on the screen so you can do something twice. So you can clear a boss literally in 2 hits instantly.
Oh, there are a few bosses. In 2,
Yeah.
Airman, like, so again, the way Mega Man works, and this is like all the Mega Mans.
Yeah.
So, you're presented with like a stage select, based off of the different robot masters, who are these bosses that control the level. And you play through that level, and at the end of the level, you fight the boss. And the boss gives you a weapon. And that weapon can be used to fight other bosses. And so the point I'm getting at is like in Mega Man 2, if you have fought Woodman and then you fight Airman, you'll kill Airman in 2 hits.
Yeah, there's a certain, the order is, in some ways, the order is...
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but you do like the damage is just amplified. Like if, I think a usual one is like fire and ice.
Yeah.
If you use like fire weapons on whoever is the ice boss, you'll do more damage, etc., etc. I think that's pretty cool. I'd say initially it doesn't, like there is an order, but you don't really have to stick with it. You can beat the bosses with just your normal weapon. As I am demonstrating in the footage, like I don't know the order for the other games. I just went and
because I remember in Mega Man 2, we'd been discussing this because when I started, I wanted to ignore the idea of let me see how much I can play without learning about boss order or anything.
Yeah.
Let me see how easy that would be.
Yeah.
And I started with Mega Man 1.
Yeah.
And 1 was kind of hard.
Yeah, I found 1 to be horrible.
And not 1 feels like not impossible, but it feels like you'd need a bit of practice to get into it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but you just need a little practice.
Yeah.
So it might be frustrating if you're playing it and you just keep hitting the same wall all the time. I really liked 2.
Yeah.
And when I was playing 2, I think I was playing Metal Man first.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I played Metal Man first.
Yeah, he's not difficult.
He's not difficult. But then I stopped playing 2 and I decided let me focus my efforts on 1 and 6 because you were playing 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played 1 a bit, and then I played 6 again. Then you told me about now the rewind function.
Yeah.
Which really does help the game.
Yeah, so okay. When I started playing 1, I did not even get to the boss. I tried Cutman first. I could not get to the boss.
At least, I made it to Cutman, but
I couldn't. I could not make it to Cutman. I would keep dying, and this is when I first started playing. I would try and kill all the enemies on screen, which was my issue.
Same,
And again, a thing with Mega Man is it's not like when you rest at a bonfire, the bad guys will respawn. No, this is you move slightly to the left. Whoever's on the left will just respawn. If you move to the right, whoever's on the right will respawn. It doesn't matter. So you have like infinite enemies. So it took me a really long time to get used to that. That really works to your advantage later on. Yes, because they have random drops, and so if you're low on health, if you're near, you can just farm to get your health back up and to refill your items if you've used them. It becomes really useful. It's a pain, but it becomes useful. And I would say that with like vanilla Mega Man is harder than Dark Souls. I don't care who you are. It is really hard.
Mega Man 1.
No, all of them. I would say all of them are harder than Dark Souls because there's a lot more learning with patterns and enemy placement.
Yeah.
And you don't go to a bonfire
every time.
To save, and you don't like we have a password system in the vanilla game.
Yeah.
You get a password system. But now the game Mega Man Legacy Collection does not tell you this. But there's a rewind function, which sort of like lets you hold L1 or whatever left bumper.
Left bumper,
Or I don't know the X one. L1. And you will whatever you've done, you'll sort of go backwards in time. So if you die, you can literally hold that and you'll undie, and you can try and do whatever you're trying to do properly again.
Yeah. So if you're hit by like a projectile.
Yeah.
You will now rewind until when the projectile is reversing, then you're trying to dodge it again.
Yeah.
So you're basically given a second chance.
Yeah, and it's infinite. It never ends, and it's really addictive. And it is the one reason that I will say that this game was hella fun. Yeah. I actually didn't know that this was there. So I played then Mega Man 2, and I managed to reach Woodman, and I managed to beat him. But then later when I was trying out, I'm like, okay, let me try now Mega Man 3, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, there's a rewind function. And then I was like, okay, what else am I missing? Because I was looking at the controls to see if I was missing anything. And that's where I saw the function. And then I'm like, what else am I missing? So when you press select on any of the games, you get one save state for any version of Mega Man. So you'll get one save state for Mega Man 1, 2, 3, one for 2, one for 3, one for... And what that allows you to do is anywhere you are, no matter where you are, you can just have a save.
So you'll just pick up from that same spot?
Exactly where... So just before a boss, when you're entering those doors, just before you reach the boss, you can save in that place. You can save at the boss when the boss spawns. Just whenever you get a chance to press select, you can save.
Yeah. So
but you only get one.
Yeah. So it's a bit of an anti-frustration feature.
Yeah.
But since you're only given one, you kind of have to move forward with it.
You have to be careful, yeah. I didn't have a problem being careful with it. Because of the rewind feature, you end up having so many lives by the time you reach the end of whatever. Because for me, the way I was playing is like, I don't want a single thing to hit me. So I would keep trying, and it's really nice because you get to learn all the patterns of every single enemy. Even like how to beat them, what their patterns are. Like in the video, for one of the ones where I'm fighting Snake Man, it's very evident. Like I figure out the pattern, and I'm like, okay, so this is the pattern. So I need to be here, jump here, and then do this, and then jump here, and then do that. And that was it. So it does teach you about patterns as well in a way. I really like this feature. I would not, honestly, I was having a really rough time
without using
without knowing that this feature was there. So.
But you can also override the save state, right?
Yeah, you get one save, but you can save, you can overwrite it. Yeah.
So the thing that I was seeing some guys do was every time you shift screens, you save state.
Okay. What I normally did was I would save every time on the stage select screen, or when you're getting to the final bosses, like the final map and stuff, after you've beaten the robot bosses, just before the stage starts, because there's no stage select after you beat those guys.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that in the spoiler section, I guess, because I don't know how to have a spoiler section for this game.
Did you try all the Mega Mans?
I tried all of them, yeah.
But you said...
But I finished 2, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would play the others as well. Just... I think 6 felt the best because it's the newest one, I guess.
But
I really like 2.
6 is not the most polished.
Yeah. I don't know. I did like the way 6 ran. And also I'd say the music is a huge thing.
It's a huge, yeah.
By the way, this collection, so the other features of this collection, because I already mentioned the rewind and the save state, is you get a thing called the museum, the database, and a music player.
Yeah.
So the database, it has like for Mega Man 2, it has like what you would find in the manuals of like the Game Boy version. You get like colored pictures of different enemy types, and it's given like lore.
Yeah.
This was designed by blah 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 for blah blah blah, and it's really cute. Then the museum had like the concept art for these things, or the artwork for these things that you can just kind of zoom in. And the music had basically
the entire soundtrack.
The entire except for number 6, there's no end theme in the music player for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, the music player is pretty basic. Yeah. But I went through all the music for this game as well, to just kind of know what the best ones are.
I really like the intro for 6.
Yeah, so 1 is not a very good soundtrack. 2 is amazing. 3 is hit and miss. Some are really good tracks, some are not. I would say most are not, but there's like a handful of really good ones. 3 is amazing, 4 is amazing, 5 is amazing, 6 is amazing. And the thing with 2 and 4, they kind of had the same themes going. And every now and then you'll get the same, like a few of the same ones from 2. Like the game start music. Like, you know, like it's really catchy music. Like, and every time I play this game, all these like it would just be stuck in my head, and then it would go into Contra music for whatever reason.
Like for me, when I was playing, I watched the intros. I like getting into the whole feel of the game.
Yeah.
So when I was deciding which one that I wanted to play, I was torn between playing 1 just because it's the first one.
Yeah.
But then when I was watching all the intros, I think the intro for 6 is the one that got me the most hyped up.
Yeah.
So I started playing 6 and 1 just because.
You mean like story intros?
Like, no, the game intro.
Okay.
Yeah, the game intro.
Yeah, 1 and 2 just kind of start.
Yeah, 1 and 2 just kind of start.
Yeah, there's no...
6 is the one that kind of even begins like an anime. And that's what will be actually, when you're talking about the gallery.
Yeah.
The gallery and the museum.
Yeah.
When I saw the high-res images, I thought that the game would look like that.
Yeah.
I thought they were high-res like animations, like cartoon animations of the game.
Yeah. Or
at least there would be a layer for it again.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
And it's not. So that was, for me, was a disappointment. So
it's all 8 and 16-bit stuff, dude.
I know, but still, like imagine if there was like a layer that they did and it looked like a legit cartoon.
So what they have done, they have actually done them up a little bit. Like some of the edges, I don't pay attention to this stuff, but I looked at what people were talking about this. So there's even like filters that you can have if you want the original look of the game with all the weird edges and stuff. You can actually, you can put those options. If you wanted to emulate like CRTs and stuff, all those options are there as like filters that you can have in the options menu.
But now imagine
I just liked it vanilla. Yeah.
But now, for me, I was wishing that there was like a proper high-res animated look to the games.
Yeah.
If that was there, I think I'd be even happier. I wouldn't have even minded even if it didn't have. No, I'm lying. I would still have preferred it with the rewind and the save states.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the latest Mega Man is Mega Man 11.
I haven't.
And that looks amazing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it has rewind and stuff. But I think they have, again, made it a little more easy for normal, well, casual players, I guess.
Because I'd imagine like a new Mega Man game would be something like Spider-Man. Or like Zelda-ish.
No, it's sort of like it's more like the X games. It's just really, really pretty graphics, an anime look. And it's just side-scroll, really, really pretty visuals.
Okay.
And it's side-scrolling. They did have a few Mega Man games that went 3D. They did really badly. You know, remember, I don't know, like with video games, there was like a time where everything was 3D.
Yeah.
And everything tried to transition, because Mario did it. And yeah. So they tried that as well. And it didn't do well. Yeah, they went back to side-scrolling.
But yeah, it works. For this one specifically, it works.
What?
The side-scrolling.
Yeah,
nature.
I like it. I do like it.
And plus, it's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the story?
I don't know.
Okay, so the story is bullshit.
Because I never really even cared that much about the story.
Yeah.
Mega Man?
In Mega Man 1 and 2, I don't remember about 3. But there's zero story. Like, you know, like, as you start the game, as you press start, you normally get those, the city is blah, blah, blah. Yada, da, da, da. In Mega Man 1 and 2, there's none of that. I think the story was in the manual. But even then, like, so what I did was, I just went and checked what the Mega Man story is for these games. And it is a bullshit story.
Yeah.
It is a little more bullshit than the Castlevania games as well. Basically, the story is...
Mega Man was created by...
Yeah, like at the start in Mega Man 1, I think Dr. Wily, they're two scientists, Dr. Wily and Dr. Light.
Yeah.
And they made robots and this and that, and then I think Light got credit for it. And that made Wily jealous, and so Wily became a bad guy. Oh, I will have my revenge. Yeah. And basically, every single Mega Man after that is somehow like Dr. Wily was the main bad guy behind it, because I'll get you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just basically, just anything for stuff to go wrong, there to be like robot masters, and then go to fight a bad guy, and then Wily's castle.
Yeah.
Is basically the structure, and it's not a very good story.
But okay, the thing about them is all those bosses, all the robot masters that they're fighting, are all in themed stages. Then it's just, I guess, just for variety. They just give you, because all the enemies look pretty much similar. Yeah. They're not that big. It's not that big of a variation in what kind of enemies the game looks like, even when it comes to the robots themselves. So design-wise,
I
they're
think
all humanoid robots that have a specific theme.
Yeah. Later on, they get weird. Like, I think it's like Cutman and Gutsman are like examples, and Cutman has like a scissor boomerang thing on his head, right? Later on, you have stuff like Nightman and Yamato Man in Mega Man 6. So, like, I don't know.
And even the weird Pharaoh Man.
Pharaoh Man.
Yeah.
And so it gets a little weird with the robot bad guys, but really it is just to facilitate gameplay.
Yeah, it's just facilitating gameplay and giving you a different stage.
And the stories for why you're fighting is just rubbish. It's really, I think it's poorly written together. Yeah. It's one of these things. Wily made bad robots to fight Mega Man, or there is a virus that has been corrupting all these robots, or we need to figure out, or all the robots have gone crazy, or something. It's all rubbish. It's just to make an excuse, or based off of of the last Mega Man game, Wily used the blueprints of that to make evil versions of those of the bosses from the first game. Yeah. It's nonsense. But that's not why you're playing Mega Man. Yeah. If you want the Mega Man story, I think the cartoons had actual stories. So if you're doing the games, I think you just play the games. And I will say that in these games, there wasn't much, like Rush is in this game, in these games. Yeah. But like there isn't like a lot of interaction. I feel like the hype for him being like Mega Man's pet outweighs what he actually.
His utility in the game.
No, his utility is there in the game. You have to use him. Yeah. But like he doesn't feel like a pet. He feels like an item that you use. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's nothing about him being a pet. Like even the thumbnail for this video on YouTube or the Instagram post of it, it's like Mega Man pointing with Rush, and they look very chummy together. There's none of that in the game.
Actually, yeah.
which is kind of weird, yeah. But whatever. It's nice that you kind of created like stories behind these tiny things, in like I guess for the game. But I wish they were there kind of in the game. At least between 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else that this game does, we mentioned Rush. So throughout the game, you'll get like, besides those weapons, you also get items that you can use. And these items add like sort of Metroidvania stuff. So if you go to like one level, you'll have an item that will let you go further up, and you'll be able to find like a secret or climb higher or something like that.
Weapon or something else.
Yeah. I know in Mega Man 6 you get like a power kind of punch thing that lets you punch through solid walls. So in all the Robot Master stages, you can go back, punch through those walls, and find whatever. Yeah. So I would say that aspect is there. And it's nice seeing it there for such old titles. But you're never forced to use this until you defeat all the Robot Masters. Yeah. Because after you defeat the Robot Masters, you then fight Wily.
And he sometimes...
Or whoever the boss of the game is.
Yeah.
Right? And right off the bat, as soon as you start, you'll have to use those things. So when I reached... Wily's Castle in Mega Man 2, I had to start figuring out what all these items were because I was not using them, and they do run out.
Stockpile like many of them.
No, you get all the ones from the masters, and then like in Mega Man 2, then there are 3 items. So all the weapons from the masters, and then 3 items. 2 of them are very similar, and they're all platform based. So one of them is like a platform that kind of rises, and you can put 3 of them at a go. So you can like climb to like a ladder. There's one point where at the bottom right of the screen you are, and there's a ladder at the top right, left.
So you have to.
How do you jump there? Yeah. So you have to time how you place those platforms, the 3 platforms, to jump and get up to the ladder. So you have to use those items. The other item is like you again shoot out, I guess Rush, or I don't know what it is, but you shoot out a thing. And as soon as it hits a wall, it will attach to the wall and climb, like lift up as a lift. So it's the same kind of thing. I barely used it. The last one is like you create a platform, and if you jump on it, you just go straight. Infinitely straight. And again, you need this in the last levels. Yeah, you do need them.
Okay.
So there's no way to progress. And then even with the weapons, you need to use the weapons to defeat some bosses. There's no way you can defeat them. And in the last stages, like when you're in Wily's Castle, these powers are not infinite. They run out. Yeah. And so you have to keep them topped up within the levels. Otherwise, you will be stuck. So there's like, for example, there's like one boss. I think the third last boss, which is this room. And there are these orbs. I think it's called the orb security room or something like that. And there are these orbs that will shoot you simultaneously, like 5 of them. And they're all behind these unbreakable walls that you can't shoot through, but you can blow up with the crash bombs that you get from Crashman. And so, because there's so many of these walls, and again, you can only kill those orbs with the crash bombs. So, like, there's so many of these walls, you have to figure out the most efficient way to use the bombs, because you'll run out. Because you'll run out just in that area. Yeah. So there's a bit of thinking. Like, that was the hardest one. I guess the most puzzly thing in that game, yeah. Also, the final boss is an alien, and the bubble gun does the most damage to it. And the bubble gun is a pain to use.
Is this alien like allergic to water? Like
no, I'll talk about it in the spoiler section.
Because it's just giving me flashbacks to science.
No, I'll tell you in the spoiler section, because that's the only real spoiler stuff is what I can talk about with the bosses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you rate this?
I'd give it a 7. As the Mega Man Legacy Collection, I'd give it a 7. I don't think it's for everyone. It is hard, and if you don't like Mega Man, you might not like this still. Yeah. But the rewind function, I think, is so good and so addictive to use. Like, I just find myself just pressing it by mistake. As like reflex, even when I did something amazing. Yeah. Just because it was fun to use, and it's so like instantaneous. So I really liked that about the game, and I think that makes it really accessible to guys who find Mega Man really hard. Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Because now for me, I was gonna give it a 6 for the same reason. But
yeah, 6. Yeah. If this was not there, I'd give it a 5. If the
save states.
The save states are great, but no, the rewind function is better. Okay. Yeah.
Because for me, I was gonna give it a 6 because, again, the way the story doesn't necessarily come out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of just left there figuring out like, okay. While I like the idea that you can play any of the bosses.
Yeah.
In any order.
Yeah.
It'll be difficult if you don't know the order.
Yeah.
But you can play any of them. I really like that.
Yeah.
The rewind, as you said.
Yeah.
But for me, the thing that really puts it where it is, puts it at a 6 for me is, it's not the kind of game that you can just pick up. For me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the kind of game that I can just pick up and play. Because Mega Man, it demands attention in a very strange way. Like, it needs you to be on your game. It's not like other platformers where...
It is not casual.
Yeah, it's not a casual game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I like playing platformers in a specific way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I use them as my escapism.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a game that I can play, like, without thinking at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now Mega Man forces your attention in a very specific way. Like, you have to be...
You dodge those bullets, man.
You have to.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
And then there's a thing that I keep wishing that Mega Man had. Like, I feel like he's too stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
like he's too stiff.
That is a very Mega Man thing. We're gonna have Pupsy on the show, but he was like, I hate Mega Man. Because he does not like the way Mega Man controls.
Yeah.
So it is a known thing.
Yeah, he's way too stiff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's fun. It's a fun game. Like, I see myself legit. I'll still have Mega Man installed for like a while.
Yeah.
And I see myself playing if not 2,
Yeah.
4 or 6 to completion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those games. Like Doom is easier than Mega Man.
Doom is easier than Mega Man. See, with the rewind function though.
Even with the rewind function, Doom is still easier than
I
Mega
find
Man.
Doom tricky. I find Doom tricky. No, compare like a side scroller.
Like which one? Like even Castlevania. Even Castlevania is more interesting than Mega Man.
For you, okay.
Yeah. It's more interesting.
I would say yeah. As a setting, it's way cooler.
Even okay, but now as a game, when it comes to like platforming, wow. I'd still take Castlevania.
Castlevania.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of?
Uh-huh.
The way Mega Man controls is like Alicia Dragoon, which was a Sega game. It had really tight controls. It was a fantasy game. But yeah, I just remembered. That's how, like when she jumps, it's a bit like the way Mega Man jumps. It's way
That weird
too unforgiving.
arms out on both sides.
No, it's she's a slightly taller character, and just the projectiles are way too fast.
Like for me, I don't know. I've never gotten why Mega Man feels the way he feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like yeah. So for me,
Yeah.
I enjoy it, and I know I'm still gonna keep playing this game. But I just can't lose that feel, that stiffness that Mega Man has. I don't.
Yeah. No, when we first started playing this, I was complaining to you. My fingers really hurt.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I can't play this game for very long because my fingers do. Although, later on it got easier. Definitely because, also the rewind. And I found the save state thing. And I got used to it. Yeah. So yeah, I had become soft.
So yeah.
Because yeah, my fingers really, I was like complaining to Deb. I'm like, oh, my hands. What is wrong with this game?
But now that you see stuff like that is what makes me think, way back when, then we must have been like gods playing these games.
Yeah, so an issue I had with Game Boy is my elbows would get locked. So if I'm playing, I'll sit there and play for like a couple of hours. And then when it's time to stop,
your hands
I put my hands down and they hurt. They hurt. Someone like I get those muscle stiffness or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I'd get those as a kid. Be like, ow! What happened?
For me,
and
it's
then
always on the thumb.
And then claw hand as well.
Hands
Yeah.
And the soreness on the thumbs.
Yeah.
Because now way back when on the thumbsticks, so you had to hit the corners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get cut as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now game controllers are a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
So would you recommend this?
I'd say it's worth trying, but yeah, I do see your point. It isn't for everyone. But I'd say if you want to try old school Mega Man, the Legacy Collection is where you should start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or go to the latest one. But I'd still say this is better because it has the rewind.
Yeah.
And the save states.
No, I actually did recommend
and the music.
this game.
And the music is amazing.
No, I actually did recommend this game.
Yeah.
Because there's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he has a son.
Yeah.
Who's almost 10.
Yeah.
So I treat him like he's my nephew.
Yeah.
So he hasn't played games in almost 15 years.
Yeah.
His son hasn't played. His son plays games, but modern games.
Yeah.
So he has zero clue about Mega Man. Has no idea. Cares nothing for platformers.
Yeah.
He's all Fortnite and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we were playing Fortnite. We were playing Mega Man with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, how do you guys play this? How am I supposed to know when enemies are shooting at me? And they're like, you'll see it on the screen.
And you'll learn. Yeah.
And you'll learn.
Yeah.
He's like, why does this guy jump so weird? I'm like, that's what jumping was in games. So it felt good seeing someone else like learn it.
Yeah.
And he got way better than me, way faster than I expected.
Oh, respect.
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 Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can see it. It's a very organic sort of like learning process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even for like now I was playing with the boy and his dad.
Yeah.
So even for him, he hasn't played games in a really long time.
Yeah.
And this was good for him to jog his memory.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, I remember playing games like this like when I was like his age.
Yeah.
And he got back into it. He saw it and then they actually started bonding out of it. So it was fun for them.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
But if I'm recommending it to someone who's not a Mega Man like fan,
yeah,
I'd recommend it to you for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
There's no story. Forget the story. It's the nostalgia that will sell this game for you.
Yeah. Oh, side note. Mm-hmm. Sorry, while I was playing this, some of you might know I'm playing Monster Hunter World a lot. And because it's Capcom who published Mega Man and are the devs behind Mega Man, and they're also the devs behind Monster Hunter, they have these crossover things. So, man, I had no idea. There was like right now in Monster Hunter, there's because they're launching their expansion soon, they're doing this in-game festival thing where they go through all the crossovers are just available and you can do whatever events you have going. I'm good. And so one of the quests is called a Rush of Blood. Okay? Uh-huh. So I was like, okay, I'm doing it with my friend. We go into this game, right? And we're supposed to kill 2 of these bosses. But the second we go into this game, the Mega Man music starts. I'm just like, wait, did I leave? Yeah, so in my head, I'm thinking, oh crap, did the game somehow launch because I pressed something on the controller? Did Mega Man start running? But then my friend's like, it's Mega Man music. So I'm like, wait, you can hear that too? I thought it was just me. I thought the game launched, and we did the quest. And it's just to kill these 2 things. So I'm like, why is it called a Rush of Blood? It didn't click. And he's like, dude, you've never played Mega Man. Rush of Blood. I'm like, it didn't click. He's like, Rush the dog. I'm like, oh, a Rush of Blood. So I'm like, okay. And we finished the quest and we got these rewards called Mega Man tickets. So I'm like, what the hell are these? Mm-hmm. So it's like looking all over the place to try and figure out what they are. Because I could just look it up on a wiki, but
you'd rather find it.
I do like trying to look for it myself, and if I can't find it, then I'll check the wiki. Mm-hmm. So I looked, and basically you get these things to turn your pet cat into Mega Man. And I'm talking about a pixelated thing in a modern game. You turn him into literal pixelated Mega Man. And it gets and so then I looked at videos of how this looks and stuff, and it comes with sound effects of Mega Man running, and you can make his weapon as well, and so it actually becomes it makes the same noises, yeah. And this is a modern game, but you're hearing those retro things. I thought that was so cute.
That is dope.
That is nostalgia and a half. If you're a Mega Man fan,
yeah, that is that.
And you have Monster Hunter World, do that quest.
That kind of crossover I can get behind.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, and they've done a lot more crossovers, but I won't go into that yet.
Okay, so 7-6.
7-6. Now spoiler section.
Yeah, now spoiler section.
And there isn't much here.
Yeah. It's a game. Yeah.
Yeah. So the spoilers from so again, if you don't want these spoilers, you can leave. Yeah. But I will say that they're not that big a deal. So it's up to you. So the spoilers, with the ending, right? In Mega Man 6, so I watched a full playthrough because I didn't actually get to finish it. Mm-hmm. After you finish the robot bosses, you go to one castle. And then after that, there's a second castle. Mm-hmm. So that I had no idea. And I'm like, if I was playing this without rewind, I'd be so pissed. Crap, I thought I was done. What happened? Yeah. And then in Mega Man 2... they do these weird things. So, when you fight Wily for the last time, for the first time, he kind of runs away, Robotnik style. Yeah. Literally, he's in a flying ship. He literally runs away, Robotnik style. And so you would think, according to the map, you're getting a Super Mario World kind of map. Yeah. where there's like a skull, and you would think that skull would mean like the final level, but this guy runs away, and then when you go back to that stage select screen, it extends from the skull to like another skull, and so I was like, okay, and then when you fight him there, Wily turns into an alien. A floating green alien. He sort of like explodes outwards and turns into an alien. And that is the boss that you fight. When you kill him, it turns out the alien was just a hologram. Like Wily was just controlling a holographic projection or some shit. It's such garbage. Like, but that's the final boss for Mega Man 2, the alien.
Okay.
Which dies to bubble. Bubble shots.
Bubble.
Yeah. And honestly, the final boss is arguably the easiest boss to fight.
You're joking.
Just, you need the bubble weapon. Otherwise, I don't know how long you'll be there. Yeah, his pattern is really straightforward. And it's almost like a rhythm game at that point. Because he shoots you after a certain amount of time, which you will just adjust to immediately. He's the easiest.
You feed it.
Yeah. It's like because the music also is looping, so you can just like, it's like one shot, then another shot, then another shot, and he's moving in like a sideways figure 8 the whole time. So, and he doesn't change from that. He's just continuously moving like that.
Even in phases, he doesn't have like a phase when
no, he's the final. He's the final now.
Okay.
He doesn't deviate from that pattern at all. And with the timing between those shots, even if he gets hit, nothing changes. So it's I think it's super easy.
Okay.
That boss, like the previous bosses were a lot tougher. Yeah.
Because I remember like when I was playing it.
Yeah.
The one, because now when you're playing it out of order.
Yeah.
And when you play it out of order, it can get a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's some stages where they assume that if you came in order, you'll have some weapons.
Yeah.
That will allow you to like clear or fast track a lot of the stage.
Yeah.
So some enemies won't damage you as much as others.
Yeah.
And
the fire guys are always easy. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. And the one thing that I like about the game. Changing environmental hazards. In Flame Man stages, you see the way they have pits of oil.
Yeah.
And then there are these flying enemies that come. If you don't kill them fast enough, they drop flames into those pits of oil.
Yeah.
Then the entire pit now catches fire. So now you have a fire hazard where before you'd be able to wade through the oil, the most it will do would just slow you down.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect your jump height. But yeah, small things like that. So the stage does actually change depending on how you play.
Yeah.
So if you could be, let's say you do a jump and you mess something up, then that enemy actually releases now that flame, that fireball that lands in the oil and makes an area impassable for you. That's where now the rewind comes in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point now you rewind, you try and clear that section before that happens, or just make sure it doesn't happen at all.
Yeah. So in 2 there are these guys on clouds who drop like an egg that shatters and these things just fly out at you. But if you shoot them just before they land, it just takes one hit. And it doesn't explode, so you're fine. So rewind is really good for making sure you hit that. Yeah.
So yeah, small things like that. And then there's like the save glitch, the pause glitch, sorry.
I'd never use that. I never knew how. Or just with the rewind, it just made it pointless. Yeah,
it's not necessary.
I'd rather just try and dodge it. Yeah.
But if you're up to it, and you're also interested in trying like the whole like speedrunning thing, I'd say as a challenge, try speedrunning one of these games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even if you just watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it, then try and recreate what you see.
Or do the challenge mode. I forgot to mention, there's a challenge mode, which is just like a bunch of different sections from the Mega Man games that you just need to play through. So it'll be like, this boss is going to shoot at you, and then it'll teleport you to another part of some other level where you had to dodge some shit, and
So it feels more like a boss rush stage thing.
Stage rush. It's not all bosses, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was your favorite character to fight?
Cutman.
Cutman.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's either Cutman or Airman.
Cutman or Airman?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like Airman.
Just for the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like Cutman because...
Who was the worst to fight?
Flame.
Huh?
Flame.
Flame Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, again, I wasn't playing them in order, so I never had, like, the stage-specific weapons.
Yeah.
So I was playing them, like, as Mega Man Zero, raw,
basically.
So for me, when I was playing against Cutman, I had to now force that kind of agility.
Yeah.
And try and hit him with legit shots.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed now the acrobatics of him.
Okay.
Flame Man, because of the zoning, I just wasn't able. Because he has there's this thing that he does where he like guts like a fountain of flame from the ground.
Yeah.
That he used to catch me with that like almost consistently. So that didn't work for me so much.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't try too many, and when I was trying the other stages, I didn't get to that many of the bosses.
Okay.
So those are the few bosses that I got.
Okay. Yeah. I think with 2, I really hated Quickman. God, Quickman was a pain. Yeah, I couldn't deal with Quickman at all. Like, I can't fight him without taking hit. He is so quick. I mean, he's Quickman. You could use, so, like, again, in Wily's final, before you fight Wily on the final part of the stage, you need to beat all the bosses again in 2. I don't remember if it's there in all of them, but you need to beat all of the bosses again. And because I used all my bombs in for the previous level's boss, which were those orbs, those things with the walls and stuff, I didn't have any of those bombs to use on Quickman, because those bombs, so what it happens is they're sort of like sticky bombs. You shoot them, they stick onto a thing, and they blow up in a giant radius. And so that's how I beat Quickman the first time. Without having those things, I had issues with Quickman. Gosh, even with the rewind, he is tough. He is really tough. Because he's just like all over the place, and he's super fast.
And who was the one that you liked the most?
And the one I liked the most was
Landman?
I kind of like the design for Nightman in 6. Yeah. He looks cool. But in 2 I liked Woodman, actually.
You said?
Nightman. It's just so weird. Yeah, he looks cool.
Now, I wish the game looked like this.
Yeah, I guess it harkens back. Do you remember, like, in the old days, you'd get this incredible looking box art and the game is just pixels?
Yeah.
Like, Metroid 2 was the first. Like, you get, like, Samus, like, pointing at the camera with a gun, kind of doing this hero kneel thing. And the game, it's, like, black and white. Yeah. Because that poster used to come free with Game Boy, so a lot of people had that Metroid 2 poster. I love that poster. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So still a 6 for you?
Still a 6 for me. It's a 6 that can only go up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 6 that can only go up. Like, it's a very positive 6.
Okay.
Yeah. I enjoy it. It's just that the issues with the game are entirely mine.
Nah, a lot of people have those issues with the game. Like.
But then again, like, if they ever addressed my issues with the game,
yeah,
it would change Mega Man forever. So.
Yeah, but then it would be like everything else, really.
Yeah. So it's okay. So I'm like, I'll actually go back and finish at least one of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had like a really crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We both have.
Yeah. Actually, we're late with this episode. I had some family stuff last week, so it's okay. I managed to finish it. Though. Yeah.
So now we are finishing.
So
we have the poll results from the last
yes.
vote that we did.
Last time we asked you to vote on Monstrous, Fable, or Ghostbusters Volume 1. These are all comics, and you guys voted.
Yeah. So we tallied up the votes from Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
And the one that came in the third, let me pull up the Twitter vote, is... Why am I not opening this thing? Yeah, the one that came in third was Fables. So was Fables Volume 1.
With how many votes?
1.
Okay.
Yeah. The one that came in second was Ghostbusters. With 3 votes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But leading the clear winner.
Yeah.
With 6 votes.
Yeah.
Is Monsters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read this actually.
So we're gonna read Monsters Volume 1.
Yes.
It's not that long. I think it's about like 21 issues.
It's that big. That's huge.
That's not much, really.
A
20 issues.
volume normally has 5 issues. But sure. Sure.
Let me just check and confirm.
How many issues are in Monsters Volume 1? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad. Honestly, I'd be glad with any of these votes. Which is why I nominated all of them. I just couldn't decide.
Oh yeah, there's 21 issues, yeah.
21 issues?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it's actually really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually really
I'll
cool.
see. I don't know anything about this. I've heard the art is amazing.
The art is amazing. Even the story is really cool.
And Image are pushing it. Like, it's still being published today.
Yeah.
Like, it has done pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, check out Monsters.
Yeah.
Check out the other 2 in your own time, but if you want to catch up with us for the podcast,
Yeah.
check out Monsters. We might be joined by a friend of mine in the next episode.
Cool.
But might be, maybe not. We'll see. Tune in for the next episode to confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, what we're voting on next would be a series that you are picking.
Yes. Since I'm not that like up to speed with like shows. I don't want to say series. Yeah, shows. The 3 that I wanted to pick are Dark Season 1. Dark is a German show. It's on Netflix. It's a German like noir thriller drama. It's about like, okay, I don't want to say what it's about. There's time travel elements. There's a bunch of kids.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just check it out. But it's a real like tense sort of drama thriller sort of story.
Okay.
Yeah. The second one I wanted to check out was The Boys.
Yeah, this
Which is a new
just
show.
came out, yeah.
This just came out
Are all the
as of
episodes
now.
out, though?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's also not very long.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a brand new show as of now. I think it's like 3 weeks old or 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a superhero show, but kind of like a...
It's based off a comic book.
Yeah. It's based off a comic book, but the story is a superhero story.
Okay.
A bit darker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Then the third one that I wanted to check out was Wu Assassins.
Yeah, which looks like Iron Fist.
Which is, yeah. Everybody says it's what Iron Fist should have been.
Yeah.
But the reason why I want to see Wu Assassins is because of the cast. The main character his name is Iko Uwais. If you've watched the Raid 2.
Yeah, he's an Asian guy playing a monk. Who would have known?
But he's a really good martial artist.
Oh,
even the
cool.
other guys in the show, like Mark Dacascos, there's a really good. If you're into like martial arts movies, you'll really like Wu Assassins.
Okay.
So it's somewhere in between Iron Fist and Enter the Badlands.
I don't know what that is.
You like Enter the Badlands? You know, I know you also like these martial arts shows.
Yeah.
You like Into the Badlands, but you also like Who Assassins.
Okay.
So check out the trailers. If any of them are your thing, please vote on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be a post on Instagram and a story that you can probably vote on. On Twitter, we'll put up a poll for the three of these.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's
So thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Read Monstrous.
Read Monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know how you feel, even if maybe you're not even able to finish it.
Yeah.
Just let us know on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, and let us know how you went with Mega Man as well.
Yeah.
If you want, I can post. I took screenshots of every time I had a password for Mega Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you want those, let me know. I can give you those.
Yeah,
I can give you those.
we'll put up the passwords.
Yeah.
So you can actually jump stages now if you
Yeah, if you want. If you want to go straight to Wily's Castle.
Yeah.
After Wily's Castle, you don't get passwords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Have fun.
Yeah. See ya. This was nice.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on what we just discussed? Did we miss something? Tell us in the comments section and we'll read it in the next episode. If you're listening on Anchor, send us a voice message and we'll add it to this episode. Don't forget to follow our podcast on Twitter @SpoilFans for updates, and follow our Instagram for behind the scenes action @Spoilers and Fandom. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube and Anchor to get the latest episodes.